Hello everybody, how you doing today? I hope you're all having a great day, or morning so far. Mine's been pretty good. Let me see. I feel like the webcam's slightly too bright. But, yeah, definitely ready for the weekend. I feel like I haven't really had a weekend because I was so busy last week, so it'll be nice to hopefully relax. But let's see. Let's go ahead and get to programming. So we're going to do more terrain stuff for Tactical Lizard Tamer. And right now, even though the game is runnable, nothing is actually generated because the game is still trying to... Well, it's waiting for the terrain to finish. So we can see... Yeah, we have the bounds and then the interpolation data for every point, and then I did the positions. But normals haven't been updated, blends aren't created, and neither are triangles. So... Also, I need to update this. Right now I'm just working on the hexagon faces, so I need to update this for the rectangle margins and the triangle margins. Okay, this is bothering me. Just sorry, fiddling with my mic. Anyway, okay, so let me see. Sorry, my pop filter, the little, I don't know what you call it, positioning arm doesn't always stay put. So, okay. So we did finish the positions. Okay, I guess I'll do the triangles first. That will be actually pretty easy. Because I'm not gonna really have to change much. Where is it? Triangle generation system. I just need to... Okay, so it has to wait for... I guess just the layout. We don't care about anything else, I think. Okay, so let me see. The triangle data does actually need this like point arrange data, so should I keep it? Well, I guess there's no harm. I mean, it's already here. Okay, so maybe I'll mark it as unobsolete and re-add it back in. Unfortunately, I did delete the parts where I created it. So would it just be... I guess it would just be the system. Or I could have another system that would create that, and then this layout system would... work from that. Okay, so... Let me see here. I have this board index generation, but it's not the same really. Like it's kind of actually separate. So okay, I should just be good and make another class. It's kind of a pain to work with right now because we don't have unities. I always say this every stream, it seems like actual entity component system. Okay, so let's just call this the arrange our point arrange generation system. And I think really, okay, I'm gonna look back in the Let's close everything. The history for the layout generation system, and I think I'll just copy everything in here. Because basically we're going to want this exact code, but when I first started updating it, I didn't realize that the triangle still needed this arranged data. It's not that big of a deal, really. Oh, okay, I don't need to do that because I just need to update the namespace here. Okay. Let's try that playlist. Okay, so I don't need to... Yeah, I don't care about the surface altitude. Really, it's just like this part that matters for the system. Okay, and then... Okay, so I need to make a new state thing here, so I guess I'll just call it arrange. I should rename this to like... Yeah, something like that. Oh, okay. Okay, so change this to S arrange, and it doesn't need to, like, it doesn't have any dependencies. Okay, and then the layout, I need to change the, yeah, this layout generation system to wait on the arrange. Action S arrange, it's complete. And then the section generation needs to set this variable to waiting. Okay, so I think, let me see. So this stuff I don't need anymore because the number of points we actually can get from the section now. Okay, so let me look. So 0 is the number of point rings, and then points on. Yeah, this should say ring 1. Okay, so num points is just section dot number of points. And the number of point rings is section dot arrange data 0. So I don't need either of those. Okay, so calculates start index for ring. Okay, I guess let me get the old system because before we actually did use this arrange data. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh, okay. Well, actually, yeah, no, this system didn't do it before. It was the position system. Okay, which I still have here. Okay, so this should still work. I guess let's test it. Okay, so this just needs to wait for the arrange. And then the position system, I need to make sure that the arrange is complete too. Although I guess that's the arrange is assumed to be complete if point LARP is complete. So I don't have to do that. Oh. Extra curly brace. Oh, one other thing is this system is actually not ever created. Once it finishes compiling, I'll go ahead and play it. Okay. It doesn't use the battle. I'll just leave it in the constructor in case we need it. Okay, so yeah, everything still looks like it's good. Point arrange data. Alright, so that means pretty much that the triangle gen system is, I don't have to change it at all. Because I didn't change the arrangement of points, so it's pretty much good to go. It just waits, okay, it doesn't care about this. It can run once the arrange data has been given to it, and that's all it needs. Okay, so it's good to go. What about the normals? What does it care about? So it needs the positions, the triangles, okay. Does it really? Oh yeah, okay, because it just like looks at all the triangles that are on this point and then adds it together. Okay, but it doesn't need to be changed either, because it's been updated, or it doesn't rely on anything that I've added. So what about the colliders? It needs the positions and the collider triangles. Oh wait, okay. But does it actually need the positions? Let's see. It just needs the point arrange data. I don't think it needs the actual points. Okay, it needs board indexes. Oh, that's true. The positions actually need that as well, don't they? Oh, I already did that. Does the triangle care about that? I don't think the triangles care about anything to do with that. Okay, so yeah, this needs the arrange and section dot board. What's it? Oh yeah, S board index is complete. And the collider triangles are waiting. Okay. And yeah, specular is gone, so don't have to worry about that. Now what about the actual terrain mesh? It's going to wait. I got to make sure that the collider mesh and the visual mesh are done. So the collider mesh generation just needs... Oh yeah, it needs to make sure the collider triangles are done for every section, and that's... It also cares on the positions. Yeah, so that... Okay. But yeah, that's all it cares about. And then the visible mesh... needs the triangles, positions, and normals, and that's... Well, it also needs UVs, but... And the blends, but I haven't added those yet. Okay, so if I play now, I think that will generate terrain and it'll kind of look like it used to, except nothing will blend together because I need to move that somewhere else. Okay, we actually got an error. Probably because the blend array was empty. Oh yeah, so the blend array hadn't even been created yet. Okay, so let's just add red here. Oh, it needs to be a color. Just for testing. Nothing will actually blend right now, but I want to make sure that everything else about the terrain system is up and running. So not exactly. This is there's 16 hexagons, so what is going on? Okay, so for some reason all the bounds start at the same position. I guess I don't do that correctly. So let me see, where would that... I guess that'd be the bounds generation system right here. Okay, that's... Oh, I guess this board index hasn't been created yet because I need to make sure that... Yeah, that the board index has been figured out. Okay, so I just messed up on the dependencies here. Okay, collider mesh add section. It's probably the same type of thing. Okay, no, it says the position's out of bounds. I'm not sure why that would be. Okay, so yeah, everything, like we have 7 points. And the triangles never goes above 6. But the collider triangles, no issue there. And the thing about the triangles is that they're the same for every section of the same type. The error must be somewhere else, but what did I... Oh, no, for some reason the positions are 0 right here. Why? Okay. The bounds are still waiting on some of these. Why is that? Oh, it's waiting here too. Oh, well, for one, this is messed up. This should be equals equals. Oh, wait, no, that's true. Oh, except this should be an or, okay. So yeah, if either collision triangles is not complete or positions is not complete, then all complete is false. So... I think that's fine, it's just it ran too early. Okay, so now they're way too far apart, I think. Okay, so what's going on here? This looks okay. Let's play it again. Yeah, see, they should... It's like they have a huge margin, but I thought that 3 units seemed kind of big for the bounds. Yeah, so interestingly, yeah, this never goes above positive, even though this should be... Okay, so yeah, the hexagons are too small, and it should be like directly underneath here. So something is wrong with the positions. Okay, so for instance here, it should be in the middle of this, which... Yeah, it starts at negative 1.5. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. Oh, no, I did add them. I was going to say, did I just put the dimensions in there without adding it? Okay, but for instance here, this should be half, and so the x starts at negative 1.5 and goes 3 units to the right, so it should be between negative 1.5 and positive 1.5. So for instance, since this is half, this should be 0 right here. But instead it's negative 3. How did that happen? Oh, you know what? These 0 points, I'm like adding up the start position 3 times with this lerp. So what I actually need to do... Okay, so what I do is just start off at the 0 point, or the bound start, and then we lerp. Okay, I don't even have to lerp, I just multiply the bound axes by these different lerp values. Yeah, so I did this whole thing wrong, because if each of these lerps was 0, then it would actually, what we would have gotten was 0 point times 3, because we add it 3 times. So that was kind of silly of me. Okay, and then this one, bound axis times 1, or bound axis 1, plus the y interpolation value. So I don't need any of this anymore. Okay, so that should take care of that, I think. Yeah, so that looks better. Of course, we just have hexagon faces for now. Okay, so why is that pink? Because I don't actually set... The UVs should all be 0, I thought. Oh, well, no, I still do the test UV thing. I just, they don't blend. Which we can't notice right now because we have no margins anyway. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, I already started this. Let's not do that because it doesn't have all the different types yet. Oh, right. It's in the wrong namespace again. I really wish I could change that so that it gave me the correct one by default, but... Okay, won't need that. So this class will just take care of making the blend values for every point. And for this we need the interpolation data for every point. I think that might be it. Okay, I haven't made the state for the blend values yet. I'll go ahead and do the UVs as well. Guess we'll get to those soon. Okay, so first thing I need to create the blend array, which I can just... We already have the number of points, so we know that we're going to need one blend value for every point. So that's pretty simple. Okay, so is this going to be different? Well, yeah, because for the hexagon face... Oops, clicked the wrong button. There's no blending, so that's really simple. Okay, that's the wrong type of for loop. I could just do num points. Slightly faster. And so for every blend, we'll just set it to red here because nothing nothing on hexagon face will blend with its neighbors. Okay, and I'll take care of the other types later. Okay, so did I already make... Oh no, so I haven't done the UV generation system yet, so I guess I'll add that file now. Alright, there we go. I actually remember it this time. And just give it that. Now this, I think it does need the current state, so we'll need to give it the battle variable there. Because, yeah, I don't need to get any block prototype for every hexagon on the terrain or on the map. Okay, so what does this rely on? It just needs the interpolation data for every point, I think. Well, I guess it also needs, yeah, the block prototype. So for that, we already have the board IDs. Okay, so if both those are done, we know that this is ready to run. Oh yeah, I need to change this. Did I do that for the blend system? No, I didn't. Okay, so here, I guess I do need to create the UV arrays. Okay, so section dot UVs, and we know that there's it's like a 2D array, or in other words, an array of arrays, because we know there's going to be 3 sets of UVs for every point, 1 for every terrain. And then, yeah, every point obviously needs 1 UV value for every type. So we set the second dimension to be the length of, or the number of points in this section. Okay, so let's see. The U and the V values. We can just use the interpolation data, can't we? But then we'll need to get the bounds of... Okay, so now we gotta go search through our list of terrain texture tiles and find one that matches. So here, so we need to find a block texture that's a hexagon type and then just randomly pick one. Okay, so I guess I'll need a list for that. Let's call it a tile. Okay, I think I'll put this in another function. Private void pick tile, and I guess let's pass the type. The block prototype. What is this class? Oh, okay, so it's not a subclass. And like I said, later on I might have other things in here, like at a certain altitude, we might pick a different tile, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So all we have to do, okay, well I actually need to pass the block prototype. I can just pass the ID. So yeah, to get the prototype ID, we need to look in the board at the specific block and see what its prototype is. And then from there, I can get the prototype object. Okay, what's it not like about this? Oh, right. I need to go down one more object. Okay. So now that I have that, I just need to search through. Oh yeah, I need to actually return. Should I? Okay, well we need the texture index and the UVs, so I guess I'll just return this class. Tiles, what do I call it? Textures. And what's it not like about this? Int and method group. Oh yeah, it's a array, so we have to use the length variable. Okay, so if proto textures if it matches the type that we passed in, then we can add that to our possible tiles array, which I forgot the S at the end. Oh. Okay, and now we will just pick one value out of here. Although I guess, what would I do if, well, the mod loading system makes sure that there's one prototype of every type. So this list should never be 0, but I should do something in case it is. I guess if it is, we'll just return the first one. Or the first one of this type. Well, no, because this would only... I don't know. I guess I should just throw an error. I don't know. No, because we don't catch those. Okay. We'll just return null, and we'll pass the problem on to something else. Okay, so if it's greater than 0, we'll pick something. Okay, so we'll return... Okay, well we shouldn't return it right away because I'm going to need to clear this list. Okay, so how should I get this random number, actually? Well, it's just cosmetics, so do I really care to actually use the random number sequence from the save file? Yeah, I don't think so. I could always change it later if I want to. So I'll just use Unity Engine's random number generator. What is it? Oh yeah, range. So I want something between 0 and the total number of values in this list. Okay, and then after we pick one, I'll clear the list so those values won't stick around for the next time we call this function, and then I'll return. Oh. Yeah, so that's just the index. I need to return proto textures I are picked. Okay, so the first thing we'll do here is we'll get our block texture. And the index is just our board index, and the tile type is hexagon. And then, yeah, for every point, less than section number of points, we'll set the UVs like this. Okay, well, so that, yeah, the first UV array is like this. So the X value of this vector is the U value in our texture, and that is just the interpolation data for this point. Or, yeah, the X value out of this. And then the Y value for this array is the V value, which is the Z value for the interpolation, because we're just looking straight down on this, on the terrain and trying to map the tile to it. And then the Z value for the UV is the texture that we're using out of the texture array, and that is given to us from here. Texture index. Although, do I need to divide by the total number? And yeah, I think I do. I don't remember. Okay, well, I'll wait, because that's not gonna come up right now. Let me see. I'll write a to-do note here. Oh yeah, we're done with a lot of these, actually. Check if the Z value in UVs needs to be the index in the texture array, or a percent between 0 to 1. Can't remember which way you're supposed to choose which texture to use, but that's not super important here. Also, we need to add these values to the UV start. I forgot about that. Okay, so for our UVs, the bottom left is the first point. And UVs are always a square, so that makes it kind of simple. Okay, actually, let me see. So we'll need a vector2 UV start equals texture UV's 0. And then we need the UV dimensions, which is, so UV1, I start at the bottom left and go around clockwise. So to get the width, I need to go to UV2. And okay, so I always forget. So it's the start. No, for the width, I need to do this one minus the start. I think. Okay, let's see. If we start at 0 and go to 2. Yeah, so I don't want it to be -2, so it's the start minus 0. And the height is the same thing, except we use the first UV and also the Y components. Okay, so now that I have that, we actually UV start dot x plus the interpolation data, but then I need to multiply this by the UV dimensions. And same thing with here. Okay, so I think I set this all up. And really, well, this will be pretty much the same for every type of section, so I might try to combine this logic later. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it. And then for a second set of UVs, everything is just going to be 0, 0, so... because we don't actually use anything else for now. When we do margins, this will be important because we'll need to blend between multiple textures. Alright, so I think this is done. I need to add the new systems I just created. And oh yeah, so now I just need to update the visible mesh system to actually use the new values. So it would be if the UVs are not done, then we'll need to wait. Or if the positions, or wait, the blends, yeah. So if anything here is not done, then the visible mesh cannot be built yet. So now this is really simple. I can just use the actual blend values, and same with the UVs. I'll get rid of this test. I'll leave this in case I need it for something else. Actually, this is where I got the texture index. Okay, I can't... Okay, so maybe it is the actual texture index and not between 0 and 1. Because this is what we passed directly to the shader. So I guess we're done with that. That's how it is right now. Oh, although... oh no, I did it right. Okay, I was gonna say I didn't actually use the actual index, but I do. So we're good. Okay, so I can do a for loop here. And so UV builder, add section dot UVs. Okay, there's too many UVs. Alright, so I think that's it. Let's see. Oh, I left this running the whole time. Not that it really matters. Okay, so something... Oh, right. I forgot to set the game to try to generate these. Oh, I was going to say where's the visible mesh, but yeah, that's part of the chunk and not sections. Okay, yeah. So visible mesh. Yeah, it's still waiting. So what I need to do is go back into the section generation system and then just set the blend system to waiting and the UV system. And again, this is like, it's kind of annoying bookkeeping. Unity's new system will make it easier. Okay, object reference not set to an instance. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, of course, I always forget to do this. I didn't create or instantiate the list. Okay, so now we're getting some colors. I don't think it's... Oh, well, no, it is correct, isn't it? We're getting a little bit of orange. So if I look at the tile map, where is it? Terrain, texture map. So yeah, anything pink is supposed to be these. Like I think stone is here, and then grass is right here. But... So I am getting a little orange around the edge. Maybe let's do a little bit more design. So we can test. So this is supposed to be near the top. Okay, let's... Pick off the stroke, and I don't know, let's make it... let's do yellow. And then this is supposed to be to the east. Alright, so let's see if this... Like if I don't have it mirrored or something. Also, I mean, there is a little orange around the edge, but it's not that pronounced. I feel like there should be a little more, but maybe... I don't know, maybe the stroke is too small. Oh, no, I want that. So if I turn the stroke off... Let's just do a duplicate. And I'll just make it a little bit higher. Center it and then I'll move it back down. So essentially it's the same as before. Okay, it does actually look the same. I thought that the stroke... I guess maybe they switched it so that the stroke only goes outside the object. That's kind of nice, actually. But yeah, so since you can see a little bit here, and that's why it's important to have a margin area. So yeah, if we can... I want to make it so I can see a little bit of the orange around. the entire thing. So let's make this slightly smaller. Okay, 12. Alright, so now I need to rebuild the asset bundles. Which thankfully has been going fast. For a while there, it was super slow. I don't really know why. Maybe Unity's smart enough to like not have to repackage everything, so it takes longer to repackage a model. And since before I was working with models and sounds, it was taking longer to do. I don't know. Anyway, what I want to do is open the streaming assets because that's where our mod folder is. And then I need to copy that newly created test content asset bundle into the mod folder. Okay, and so that should have our new terrain texture. Okay, well it's there, but what's with the black border? Well, it's kind of low resolution in general. This is probably has to do with the gamma color space. If I switch to linear, it would look better. Let me see. I wanted to try and see what the texture itself looks like. Like I wonder, did Inkscape put those artifacts, or is it something to do with the shader or Unity? Zoom in. Oh no, it looks like Inkscape did it. Of course you can't tell here because since it's an SVG, it's infinitely scrollable. I wonder if there's a way that I can change this to use a linear. Something like this might be what I need to do. But I guess it doesn't really matter because... Actually, I was planning to make the textures in Inkscape just because that's what I'm comfortable with. I don't know what this means. Okay, let me look it up real quick. And if I don't find anything soon, we'll just move on. So Inkscape, dark, blending, fix. Inkscape, export. colors that show in Inkscape or export PNG. Almost like the exported PNG is darker. Okay, that's not my issue. I know it has something to do with gamma versus linear. Linear color space. Okay, I don't know why it's telling me stuff about Krita, but... Okay, well, I don't know. Obviously that effect won't be as bad if we have a higher resolution. Because what's happening is because it's... A lot of images are saved in what's called gamma space, which is kind of like the square root of the actual color. And if an image editor doesn't know any better, when they blend colors together, you get very dark outlines instead of the actual blending that should occur. It usually happens when you blend different hues, which is why the blue to the red does it more than the yellow to red. But yeah, I'll need to... I think it's... Well, obviously it's an Inkscape issue because when I looked at the image... Well, maybe. Another cool thing is I know that Unity is adding native SVG imports soon, so maybe this won't be an issue soon. But I wonder... Oh, I need to change the whole thing to be... It's already set to be sRGB. Okay, let's just not worry about it for now. I'll try and fix it later. Yeah, so I'll just leave this open. Anyway, the UVs were working correctly because the yellow dot was on the north point and then the blue dot was on the east edge. So that's good. I guess I should create differently colored ones to test the other hexagons. Okay, so let's group this together. And yeah, I have snapping. Okay, so let's change. This is grass, so I guess I'll change it to... Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. To green, why not? It's too bright. And then this one is stone. So let's go with something like that. Okay, it's working. So I did the UVs and the visual meshes update. So now I really just need to do rectangle and triangle margins. Okay, what's wrong here? Database is signed but not used. Okay, and the visible mesh doesn't need either of these anymore. Again, I'll just leave them in the constructor because I don't know if I need them later. I won't have to go change the code that gives me it. Oh, I need to, yeah, drag the asset bundle into the mod folder. Oh, is it not alphabetically now? Okay, so we got the red dirt, yeah, the gray stone, and the green grass. So yeah, everything's working good. And there's no well, like, I don't see any purple, so all the UVs have been set up correctly. Okay, so for a margin, which is the next thing. The UVs for our margin will just be a plain square. So what I need to do is duplicate that. And so I'll go into this group. Let's see, let's just make something like this. Okay, well I should probably have something on the outside. Okay, so the margin is 4. I want pixels. Okay, so actually, yeah, what I can do for this is, since the UV takes up this whole square, because the margin, or rectangle margins are squarish, this actual purple rectangle will be the margin. Oh wait, so the dark purple is the margin, actually. Okay. And then the inside purple is the part that will be drawn. Okay, so what I want to go in a little bit more, so I can have a border. And okay, so what color do I want this one to be? Oh, I was wondering why it was such a weird color. It's because I put the alpha by accident. I guess we could just use dirt now. Or, yeah, some dirt color. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, yeah, I need to drill down into here. And then this outline, I guess I'll use the same orange that I have everywhere else for the margin. Or like I said, this dark purple is the actual margin for this. So I'll do that. Okay, so now I need to, yeah, this rectangle. So again, for the west side, oh, I guess I should do east. Actually, how will this... This is kind of interesting, actually. How will I orient the UVs for the margins? I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I guess this side will be coming out of the hexagon. Okay, so I'll just make it blue. And then I'll have another one that'll just point north again, and it'll just be yellow. Okay, so that'll be fine. So actually, like, between two darts, we should see a blue bar on each side because it's going to blend the two together. I guess that's fine. Really, these margins should kind of be symmetrical. Well, we'll see how it works. I might actually want to make it so that if they're two of the same type, we only blend, or we only draw it once. But yeah, I'll look and see into that. Let's write a note. Do not blend if neighbors have the same block proto and yeah, so also I want to see if they have the same like possible texture. Okay, well that part actually makes me think that maybe we shouldn't do this because say like if your one block is higher in altitude, we'd want to use a higher altitude margin. So we wouldn't want to, so we want to blend that one, but I don't know. Maybe we can make that an option. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, so let's go. First I want to add back in margin rectangles, and I should go and make sure. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. That each system supports that. So I guess I'll just go down to the blend. Okay, well we actually need to add that. Yeah, so this is actually kind of complicated. Because it's assuming like how do we handle edge of the world, but for now I have that turned off actually, and I want to like there's a bunch of different things that are the same for every hexagon of the same type, although I guess the blends aren't because yeah the neighbors could be different, so I don't know, we'll see. But like I'm not really sure how the edge of the world will be handled, so for now I'm just gonna assume that it always has two neighbors. So what we would do here is the blend relies on the interpolation data. So this one would be, okay, so it's the bounds for it. The x-axis runs along the side of the hexagon and the y-axis runs perpendicular. So we just use the z-axis, I mean. So we'd use the z-axis as our interpolation value here. So float. And interpolation equals section lerp data p dot z. And so the first one, yeah, so it starts at 0, which means we're close to the parent, so that would be 1 minus interpolation, and then the second is just interpolation value. Alright, so that was relatively simple. Hi Kressner, thanks for stopping by. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Getting some good progress here, I think. Okay, and then this is already up to date. So the bounds, we do need to create a new thing, but I don't think it'll be that difficult. Run spanning rect margin, and this spanning just means that it has two neighbors. Although, yeah, I don't know again if I'm gonna treat the borders differently. I haven't decided even how they'll look yet. The world borders, I should say. Okay. So I need to get the hex position for both. Alright, so let me look at the old position generation system. And I think I can use code from that. Specifically, this code. what I need to do here is I have to find the start point for the bounds, and then the X and Y axis, or the X and Z axis. The Y axis... Well, actually, that's a good point. The Z axis does not point straight up. Well, I guess I could make it point straight up. But, yeah, I guess it should point straight up. I was going to say, should it be perpendicular to the slanting surface of the margin? So calculate corner position. I guess I will need that. Do I need the... I don't think I need the prototypes at this point. Or what do I need it for here? Nothing. I don't... Okay, that was a didn't mean to do that, I guess. So does this not actually... Yeah, it doesn't rely... Oh, it does need the board index. Okay, it just doesn't need to get the prototype for it, but it needs the board index so it can know if it's what the surface hexagon is. Okay, so I can get rid of this. Okay, so these near and far corners give us the values that we need, but I actually don't need the far corner B because I just need the X and the Z axis. Okay, so the section bound start is near corner A, and then section bound axis. So the X axis, oh yeah, this is, I need to create an array of vectors here. And this is what they call a non-axis aligned bounding box because we're not going to be aligned with the XYZ axis of the world. What's it wrong with here? Oh, I need to give it 3 values, of course. So the first one is the difference between the near corner A and the near corner B. And the second one is just up. And the third one is difference between near corner A and far corner A. Oh. So if I look at my diagram, which I guess I should have had pulled up. So again, the x-axis is this line here. And then the z-axis is right here. So this is corner A, corner B, and far corner A. So to get this axis, I just take this and then subtract the start. And same thing for that one. And then the y-axis just points straight up. Oh, except we need the height. So the height would just be the difference in the layers between the two neighbors. Which I guess I could find using this. Let me see. So actually, now that I think about it, the z-axis encodes a change in altitude. So the y value again is just completely flat. Yeah, so never mind about that. Sometime we might actually use the y value, which is why I'm leaving it in here, but I don't know when that will be. Okay, so finish with bounds. These never cared. The layout generation I think is still up to date, although I commented it out. I can get rid of everything here. I guess I might as well update this while I'm here, so it's ready to go when the time comes. The normals, yeah, it's never cared about the section. Okay, the point of range. Oh wait, Okay. So the layout generation is actually, yeah, this is the old layout generation stuff, which I already copied to the point arrange generation system so I can delete the whole thing. Now that I think about it, does the board index have this stuff? Okay, yeah, it does. Yeah, basically I took the old layout system and split it into 2 other systems, which maybe was a bit confusing because I might as well have used it for one or the other, but okay, so for this I need to, it's not that difficult. It takes old code from here. But I can delete a lot of the code that had to do with blending and all that because there's another system that deals with that now. Okay, so this is calculating the corners, which I don't have to do because I know that they're either like 1/2. Oh, okay, so let's see. I don't need to know these sides anymore even. So near corner A is just vector 3, 0. And near corner B is vector 3, right. And then far corner A is vector 3 forward. And then far corner B is just vector 3 forward plus right. Yeah, so that's pretty simple. I guess I do need to know these. Do I need to know the prototype? I don't think so, at least not at this point. Okay, so all I have to do is just... What was that? Yeah, this was about like doing bumps and everything. So I think I could just set the lerp data. Okay. I should go ahead and create this here. Oh, and also the surface altitude I can delete. It's in a different class. Okay, I still need that actually. So I would just say section dot lerp data. Okay, so I do need this index, and then I just set it to flat. But I guess I don't need that separate. What's the word? Separate variable right there. And then here it's basically the same. Okay, so that's quite a bit simpler. Okay, so again, everything is just between 0 and 1. So this right is the same as, yeah, 1, 0, 0, and then forward is the same as 0, 0, 1. Okay, so that's good. Point arrange, I think I already checked was updated. Position. Okay, the thing about the positions now is that they don't actually care about what place we're on, except for distortions, because we have to blend between. Okay, so actually for distortions, I should wait until the blending is done. Yeah. Okay, well let's do that later. I should add in something Okay, so position distortions based on blend values. Okay, we'll do that later, but for now the positions don't actually change. Okay, I was gonna say I don't know what that class does. Triangle, I think should still be up and running for all three types. The UVs. Okay, yeah, it does care because it has two sets. But really, now that I think about it, this code is the same. The only difference between them is that some of them don't have multiple sets of UVs. I wonder... Okay, well let's just see what the more complicated version would look like. Create rect margin. Okay, so first we'll need text A, which is just a rect margin, and then block texture, text B. Okay, so really, now that I think about it, like each is completely like independent of each other. So I could do something like this and then int section. So I'll need the... Okay, let's go ahead and pass the block texture. Let me see. So set UVs section and then block texture and I guess int UV or UV index. So all we do is this. And then I want to have maybe another value that's 0 UVs. And for this one, we would just set each UV to 0. So for hex face, I don't even know if I need a different function for this. I would just set UVs section pick tile section dot board index hexagon. Maybe I should put the UV index first or before the texture. Not that really matters, just for clarity. That's supposed to be a comma. And then I'd have 0 UVs for 1 and 0 UVs for 2. And then for the spanning rect margin, we do that, and then for 1, you would pick the first neighbor. And then, okay, I can go ahead and do the triangles now. This will be slightly more complicated, I guess, if I combine, like, depending on how I want to handle borders, but like I said, I don't really know even what they'll look like right now. Okay, that should be a 2. Okay, so yeah, that makes it a lot simpler. Okay, so did I already update the blends? Yeah. Alright, so now we should be ready to test it out. Did I not export the texture? Maybe it just hasn't imported it yet. Neighbor side B. Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't export the texture. Okay, well, we can go ahead and build the asset bundle, but I don't think I actually... Let me see. Okay, no, I do have a rect margin in there. Do I import it though? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, well that doesn't look good. Okay, so that's interesting. They're skewed, but they're kind of in the still the right position. It's just, I guess the z-axis is wrong. And they do blend. That's good to see. Alright, so... what would be causing that? It's the actual... It's gotta be the bounds. Did I do this? Oh, it's like... Is it? No, okay. I think this is okay. It's oh yeah, this is should be near corner A. All right. But yeah, looks like everything is good now. Yeah, everything is blending fine. Except, okay, this is interesting. Since I thought that it would blend the two textures together, but it actually does not. Also, you can tell, like, yeah, because right here I thought that there'd be yellow on both sides because it would blend the two, like the margin coming from this one with the margin coming away, but why does it? Oh, okay, I think I know why. This will be interesting. So it is blending, but both of them are oriented in the same direction. So if I want the margin coming from the neighbor to be flipped, I need to mirror it. I guess the question is, do I actually want to do that? I'm not sure. Well, yeah, maybe because the orientation would matter, because you might, like for instance, if you want to have a specific art that plays, or that shows right here, then that would be a little different. Okay, so... Okay, so I already knew that I wanted to be able to like rotate and mirror UVs. Like, let me see. Like I actually wanted to be able to do that. So rotate and mirror hex face UVs, but I don't think I want to do that for margins. So what I need to do is flip the UVs here. I don't want to flip the, well, the interpolations wouldn't make sense, so. Well, how should I do that? Should I have like another vector here? Vector 3. Because I'd only want to flip along the Z axis or the V axis. So it is a vector 2, actually. But like for hexagons, I'd actually like change the interpolation data itself and not so much the UVs. Well, I guess I could just change the UVs. I don't know what would be easier. Probably doesn't matter. Okay, so this is kind of interesting because that means, like, if I want, okay, well, I'm trying to, probably thinking too far ahead, trying to rotate the hexagons. I don't know what would be the easiest way to do that. Probably, I don't think anything ever actually cares which way is, like, the rotation around the points, like which, okay, so let's say point 1 is the first point on the hexagon. It's like right here. But I don't think anything ever actually cares that it points up, so point 1 could go here and then it would wind that way, and that would effectively flip the UVs, and then it'd be easy to also mirror them, which I could do that right here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so what I'd want to do, so to mirror, would I'd do like 1 minus the lerp value, wouldn't I? No. Oh yeah, right here it'd be like 1 minus lerp times the dimensions? Yeah, that would be right. Okay, so I need to apply it to this. So lerp.x times equals mirror.x, and then lerp.z times equals mirror.y. Or no, that's not right. I don't multiply, it's just if this is a boolean, so okay. Bool mirror v. I'll mirror you later. Well, I think I might want to do it, so. So if mirror you, then lerp.x equals 1 minus lerp.x. Okay. So here I don't want to mirror anything right now. Here I want to not mirror anything, but on this neighbor I want to mirror the V. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Oh, and I gotta set false. False for the triangles. Yeah, these will need to be like rotated. That makes things a lot more complicated because for the triangles I want each one to be rotated around so that the bottom of the texture is facing the specific block. And in order to do that, the UVs will have to have knowledge of the positions. Okay, so I guess the UV creator will be the one that rotates things around, so maybe we can't use that nice catch-all function, unfortunately. Okay, but yeah, here you can see that the yellows are interpolated together. Okay, so that's more like what I wanted. It doesn't really look that good, because I think if you ever did do this towards the end of the margin, you would basically just have a flat color because you won't really see much of it over there. All right. So let's add some color to the rest of the tiles. I guess I can just use the same thing. Okay, and now for a triangle, I think I'll start with this. Snap it. So for the triangle, I could just have it start here and then go up to the center. I guess that's the best way. So let's delete all these. So the margin, well, the drawball area is again just this pink. But I want to have, okay, well, let's just make the drawable area first, and then I can try to inset it and all that. So we'll have 3 corners. Alright, and so the height should be same as this. It's millimeters. Say pixels, please. Okay, so 120. Okay, so the sides, it's not going to be a perfect triangle. It should be though, so I guess we're going to be bound by the width, because the width is longer. Yeah, well that makes sense because the height is, yeah. So, oh, well, I did it wrong. I need to make the triangle, the width should be 120. So, do I want... I could do it like this, centered, or I could just have it at the bottom. Although, yeah, I should just have it centered because in the center of the triangle is out. Oh, well, it's actually not. The very center of the triangle is right here. It's not at half-half. Okay, so this is actually a good point. Should I make it aligned with the top? I don't know if that actually counts as the center of the triangle. That looks more like it. Yeah, this would be true because if I had a radius for the triangle, then that would be up like this, I think. And then the other radius would go down. Because it'd be like, if this was if there was a circle inscribing the triangle. But no, that's not true, is it? Because the radius would not actually go there. Okay. So I'm trying to think about how do I do this math. So I want to put center of a triangle on the center of a square. Yeah, the centroid. Okay, this looks fun. Let's... I wanted to find like the center of a triangle inscribed in a square. The centroid, you get it by taking the arithmetic mean of all the points. So yeah, that's what I want. Simply add the 3 points together and divide by 3. Alright, well, okay, well, it's actually... Well, I have a little bit longer. I don't think this matches exactly, but it might be close. I guess we can... Let's just go with it for now, and we can fix it. Okay, so what I need to do... The blend needs to be updated for triangle margins. Not that it's that difficult. Okay, so the... Well, I guess I should do... Let's do the layout first, so that I can actually know kind of how I lay everything. So first, I'll need the position generation. Alright, so for this... We'll need that. Calculate corner position. Don't I have that? Oh yeah, but it doesn't need as much information. It just needs the side. Because, yeah, this doesn't care about the actual position in the world. It's all relative. Actually, before I do this, I should do the bounds. Because that will tell me what the axes I'm working with are. Okay, so run spanning triangle margin. Alright, and so this does, I need, okay, I guess X will be, okay, so let's bring back the diagram. Oh yeah, so there's nothing. Okay, so I guess this will be the X-axis. And then the Y-axis, or the Z-axis, I mean, will be going perpendicular to it. I wonder if that's how I did the position before. Okay, so all I did was like interpolate between the 3 points. So okay, given that axis system, what would these 3 points be? This would be 0, 0, this would be 0, 1, and this would be 1/2, 1. Or, yeah, 0, 0, this is 1, 0, and then this is 1/2, 1. Okay, so that's not that bad. That's not what I wanted. I want the bounds, not the blend. Okay. I should accidentally create that. I don't want to forget about it, so I'll throw new not implemented exception to make sure that I don't forget about that. Okay, so spanning triangle. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm copying from that. So this, I should actually copy from the old positioning. I just want these three. Okay, and again, I don't care about the... Oh no, I do care about the positions here. Okay, so the start will just be my point, which is referring to this point here. And then yeah, that's neighbor A and that's neighbor B. Oh wait, the clockwise point... Yeah, okay, I was right. So again, the x-axis goes from my point to clockwise point. And then the z-axis goes... Okay, it's kind of perpendicular, so it's like halfway between my point and clockwise point. Okay, so let's see. My point... plus clockwise point divided by 2. Okay, I think I did this backwards. It should start with the counterclockwise point. Yeah, because this axis again goes from here to there, so it's like halfway between those two. Alright, so that's good. And then the layout. Okay, I don't need any of this actually. Well, I guess that. But actually my point is 0, 0, 0. And then the clockwise point is vector 3 right, and then the counterclockwise point is vector 3 forward. Oh, well, not exactly, because it's halfway on the x-axis, so... Okay, and then the center is... Okay, I do need to bring in that triangle average function, which is pretty generic, but... Okay, so section dot interpolation data 0 equals that, and then I don't care about any of this stuff. Okay, I don't know what those comments are trying to say. Okay, so here we just, yeah, don't use a triangle, we just interpolate between them. Oh yeah, this should be an equals. And one last. I could probably do this a little better, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal just to take it one side at a time. Okay, And now also, I just remembered I need to make the section generation actually create triangles again. Okay, and is this up to date? Oh yeah, it has a bunch of comments that I'm just keeping for now. Yeah, it doesn't actually care about what type of section it is anymore. Okay, and then a triangle is still the same. Oh yeah, the blends. I need to do blends. Actually, I don't have much time. Okay, so we'll just do this for now, and maybe we can see at least if the positions are right. So I need to do... Okay, this is... Do blend values, that way I won't forget. Alright, did I export the texture? It's kind of not done, but I just kind of want to see what it looks like. Oh, actually, okay, this is going to be wrong, but let's just... We can at least test. Oh, I don't actually do the UVs yet. Oh, no, I did. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so the triangles are fine, but the UVs are messed up. Okay, for one, they are using the rectangle margins, so that's not correct. Let me test that. I know that they're going to be wrong, though, because, well, I mean, they'll look fine, but they won't line up with our texture. Also, I just realized I need to rebuild the asset bundles in order to test this right. Okay, and yeah, so I'll do this, and then I'll need to get going. Which is fine, because we just passed the 2-hour mark. Okay, come on, Unity, you can do it. Okay, so yeah, we can see the issue here is that in terms of UVs, 0, 0, like this point is 0, 0, so it's mapping it. So maybe I think I might have been overthinking it because yeah, this point 0, 0, then that is 1/2 1, and then this point is 0, 0. So it doesn't really matter that the center of the triangle is not in the center of the UVs because we actually calculate the real centroid of this triangle. So what I need to do is the width and the height should actually both be 120, which again is a little distorted. Oops. So I don't know if I want to keep it like this because it might be hard to make something that looks good. But it won't be that hard to fix, I don't think. Although it would mean that the UVs and the interpolation data are slightly different, which we can handle. Okay, so let's, if I do this, I think everything will work. Although I really okay, well let's just try it. If we have a green triangle, I'll call that good enough, and then we'll try to polish it up later. Maybe fix so UVs map to a regular triangle. Well, I don't know if it'll matter that much because now that I think about it, the rect margin is stretched. And yeah, the margins are not really ever going to be regular because they have change in altitude and everything, so I don't know if it really matters too much. But yeah, now we have green triangles. You actually... Okay, you do see pink on some of the sides, which is good to me, because it means that we're right on the edge, as it's supposed to be. Oh, what's going on over here? Is it... Okay, am I having... Did I generate that triangle twice? I'm actually glad I found that. I should... how would I test that? I guess this is a good way. Z fighting? Are triangles doubly generated? They must be. Because right here, they're not blended. That means that I generate two triangles there, and one is green and one is pink, and so when you move the camera around, they kind of fight because they're in the exact same position. That's not a good thing. But anyway, I've got to get going. But yeah, we made a lot of progress today, so I'm really happy. I think the terrain will look much better with this new power. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. I really appreciate it. I'll be live. Well, actually, tomorrow's the weekend, so I won't be live at the normal time probably, but you can see me on Monday at 12 Eastern. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch or on Twitter. I always will post there when I go live. I also have a YouTube channel where you can check out old streams, or a Discord where you can chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you. But Monday we'll come back and fix up this terrain, and yeah, it'll be really nice. Alright, so have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.